listening to KCFB Ferguson, 89.5 The Wave, and this is Fear the Dead Air with your host, JazzHandss.
When civilization ends, it ends fast.
That is right, you are listening to Fear the Dead Air here on 89.5 The Wave. I'm your host, your friendly neighborhood DJ, JazzHandss, and I am joined with the one, the only, Paul.
Not enough coffee yet this morning. Good morning.
No. It's never enough coffee this morning. But we're here to talk about last Sunday's epic Fear the Walking Dead episode, which, honestly, I gotta say, it's coming around.
It's, I kind of thought that, it's going to get better in the second season, and it really, really has.
Yeah, right off the bat. And because I've complained before that Fear the Walking Dead has missed so many fun opportunities. And I think this is what I was talking about with
They're playing
fun.
catch-up.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about with fun opportunities, the setting and just the idea of walking through a plane wreckage and coming across different people and everything like that. It's interesting and it's finally fun and it's like, okay, this is what I've wanted.
Yeah. It's very reminiscent of Rick very early on in season 1.
Yeah.
Where he's just discovering what's going on. Meanwhile, everybody else is already known.
Yeah.
And there were quite a few significant things in Sunday's episode.
Yeah, quite. Honestly, there was a lot. I made a whole bunch of notes because I rewatched it yesterday.
I just watched it for the first time last night. I had some family obligations on Sunday and could not catch it. I was really kind of disappointed in myself. But I did watch it last night, and
you made up for it, and that's fine.
I made up. I caught up. I have not yet watched The Talking Dead, which they're still calling Talking Dead, are they not?
Yeah, they're still calling Talking Dead.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I did not watch that. So anything that you've got that comments on that, I really won't be able to speak to. But the episode itself, I thought, I loved the start. I loved I won't say I loved the ending. I could understand the ending. I have my disagreements with it, but
yeah, and we're definitely going to be talking about that because Strand, that
was kind of a jerk move.
That was cold-blooded and
massive.
Well, throughout the whole entire episode, it looked like Strand was pushing everybody's buttons.
Well, throughout this whole second season, Strand has been like, everything is mine. You're here at my request.
Yeah.
Deal with it. And, you're right. That's getting to people.
Yeah.
We're starting to get a little hacked with him.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like... Because this is so weird, and this is where I say that it could possibly be good people going bad. Because Strand... There are moments where, like with Travis, when he's just like, fix my boat. Fix my boat, fix my boat, fix my boat. You got X amount of time.
And then I loved when he came back and said, look, I'm off my game. I really have forgotten some society's, niceties and whatnot, and I apologize for that. Now fix my damn boat.
Yeah, exactly. and see, what I'm wondering is when is he gonna, stop that? Because it's clear that this group still holds to the society norms of, hey, we're
in this together. We need to start looking out for people who may be able to help us. Mm-hmm. And that's where I'm looking at what Strand did and thinking, wow, you really did a boo-boo.
Yeah. With especially cutting Alex out because now you probably just made an enemy. And
not only that, but, if you saw the Flight 462 episodes during Season 6 of The Walking Dead...
Yeah.
She is something. I'm not sure what.
Yeah.
But she is something because she knew, go for the head. She knew what was going on with the one guy when he started getting sick on the plane.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to talk about, honestly, because, within the first couple minutes, we finally get to see what happens to Flight 462?
Yep.
Flight 462. And so it was interesting to see, but for me, Alex seemed very much like she knew what was going on.
Yeah.
She knew what was going on from the start. She knew about the outbreak. And she's kind of... It very much seems that she's very much already living by Rick and Glenn, living by season 6 rules, kind of.
Yeah.
Or at least very early on, season 3 possibly rules.
Yeah.
You know, kill, meet people, and hey, don't kill them right off the bat, but you know, if somebody poses a threat to you or to your group, kill them. Yeah, she's living by these rules, and so I don't think we're done with her.
I would definitely say she's more season 3 than season 6.
Yeah.
Because by season 6, they start getting a lot more, especially after the wolf attack. The Walking Dead group, the Alexandrian group, started getting a little bit more, yeah, you know what, we don't trust you, so we're just going to go ahead and shoot you. And she seems to be more along the season 3 of, hey, you might be good to us, so we're not going to shoot you yet.
Yeah, but it's so weird because she, like I said, she had this kind of mentality, like you said, of season 3. But then when she was on the boat, she was just kind of talking. She's like, "Are you people really having this debate about leaving us out in the water or not?"
Yeah,
and it's like, and that's where I'm kind of confused, and that's where I want to see more of her, because I don't think we're done with her yet.
No, and I'm almost positive we're going to get more of her.
Yeah, we have to at some point, whether it be possibly next episode. She comes back, maybe it's a couple episodes, maybe they don't deal with her until season 3, and that's when she fully comes. I don't know.
No, I got a feeling she'll be back probably next episode, especially after seeing the coming next week.
Yeah, which that was interesting.
Yeah, that makes things not look so good for Strand. I mean, I'm not trying to spoil anything here, and by the way, there may be spoilers in this, so if you haven't watched it yet. But by the looks of the ending trailer, it looks like they chucked Strand's butt overboard.
Well, it looks like they threw Alex overboard, or somebody threw, not Alex, Nick.
See, now, I thought that was Strand. Because, number one, all right, first off, I don't mean to mess with your mojo, but can we discuss Nick for a moment?
Oh, yeah, no, totally. I want to talk a little bit more about... I want to talk a little bit more about Alex, but Nick in this episode was fantastic. And trust me, we're going to be getting to him. But because we're on the subject of Alex, I got to ask. So, why do you think she killed the one guy and saved her one hurt friend more? Like, and this is where I was saying she has these weird kind of obligations to where this kid, he's hurt. He said, it's okay. Kill me. I'm in pain. And stuff, but she goes and kills the other guy, which totally, Travis, horror movie, come on, like, we all knew what was clogging up the drain.
Yeah.
We knew.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's probably part maternal instinct. I think it's part that she has identified with this kid because he kind of knew something was going on, and I believe she said something to him about, look, it's everywhere. In the Flight 462, before they showed the flight actually starting to go down, she looked at him and said, it's, we're not going to land in Phoenix. It's in Phoenix, too. And, it's like, oh, man, this poor kid. And then he's ended up so badly burned, he's probably not going to pull through.
Yeah, and he did save her.
Yeah, he did.
So, and that's where it's like she has this kind of weird obligation and stuff to where, and granted, she wants to try to save her friend because maybe she feels that she owes him or something like that. But it's, again, she's weird. Like, and I want to see more of her because she just has these very weird, like I said, obligations to where she'll kill somebody to
save somebody who's almost at death's door.
Yeah, and it's this kind of weird moral compass kind of thing going on that, like, I'm interested to see, and I want to see more of it. I really do. Or maybe they're trying to build a Walking Dead cinematic universe, as you will, and she's going to get her own spin-off TV series. We're going to have this spin-off TV series.
The Walking Dead.
We're going to have the main series, and they're all going to come together. And, I don't know.
Alex fears The Walking Dead.
Yeah, yes.
Coming to AMC this fall.
Yeah,
That would be actually kind of fun. I'd watch that one, man. She's kind of badass.
Yeah, well, it'd either be like it would. I don't think it'd be Alex Fear. I think it'd be like Kill the Walking Dead or something like that. Or so you see, we're just going to start throwing out AMC if you're listening.
You can use any of these.
Send the check in the
royalty-free.
mail.
Oh, come on, man.
Hey, if we make at least 12 cents, we've done our job. Okay? And so it would have all been worth it. It would have all been worth it. But, okay, so, Nick.
Oh, man.
Nick,
as much as I hated him in Season 1, I'm growing to like him and see the utility of him in Season 2.
I agree, 100%. I hated Nick, and I could not wait for him to die.
I so wanted him to die. In
Season 1. And granted, I'm not at that point yet where I'm like, oh no, don't die, Nick, oh god, like I am with, like, Glenn or Michonne or Rick or any of them. But I'm starting to get there to where it's like, okay, Nick, I'm starting to really, really like you, especially with what happened last episode. And then everything with this episode, he's really come around as a character and made me like him. They've done it, and
they've showed some depth to his character other than addict. I mean, in this one, he's sitting there and he's walking around. Yeah, he's being a goof. He's wearing the captain's outfit and doing all kinds of stupid crap. But he's also looking for medications, and he tells Daniel, hey, that stuff right there, that won't help her. You need to look for anything with a psyllin in it. You need to look for anything with a codone in it. She's going to need pain medication. She's going to need antibiotics. That's going to be the things that she will need. And, so he's going through the bags, and he finds a bunch of antibiotics. And he knows what they are. And that's such a big thing. Because some people would not know. But, of course, an addict is going to know pretty much what every dang pill is.
Yeah, and what they do.
And, yeah.
And so there's actually a plus about having something like that. Now, I really hope we get a Bob story arc out of him to where...
he's no longer an addict?
Yeah, because there was a moment last episode, and I said this last episode, that really worried me when he was digging through the pills in the house.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but then after rewatching it and hearing the kid talk about his super pills, I think he put two and two together, and I think he was looking for it. So I think...
I tend to agree with you. I wasn't here for last week's because I didn't see that until after the show. I DVR'd that one as well. And that's the bad thing is I don't yet, and I don't know how you are, I don't yet feel that connection that this is a must-watch. I think it's coming around to that. I think it will eventually get to that point. But I'm not... I like the show. It's coming around. It's definitely a massive improvement over the first season.
Yeah, and we're only, 3 episodes in?
3 episodes in. But... it's not one of those, okay, I'm shutting off my phone. Everybody, I love you all. You're wonderful people. I'd love to socialize with you. But I need to be home in the next half hour so I can rewatch last week's episode right before I watch this week's episode of Fear.
Yeah.
It's one of those, you know what, I'll get you on the DVR tomorrow. I don't care.
No, yeah, and I understand that, and it's one of those things where honestly, because I feel kind of like that too, where it's not I need to sit down and I need to watch this. I'm going to watch this because one, I do like the show, and two, I like doing the show, and so I want to see it first when it comes out so I can get all the surprises and everything out of the way, and then I watch it a second time to actually analyze it and everything like that. But I do like watching it the first time, but I'll agree, it's not there to where I need to sit down and I need to see what happened with this. I need to see what happened. Is Glenn still alive under the trash can or something like that? We haven't gotten there yet, but I'm trying to also think back to Walking Dead Season 2, and...
a lot of people complained about the original Walking Dead Season 2, saying that, they were in one place for too long, not enough happened because it was all on Herschel's farm, And, aside from occasional supply runs into town, they really didn't run into that much, except for that's where a lot of characters died. But a lot of people had the same complaints with Season 2 of The Walking Dead. It's slow.
Yeah.
But then again, that was a totally different formula. Season 1 of The Walking Dead,
And
the minute you started off, you had like 10 minutes, and then bam, you're in the middle of the apocalypse.
yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those things, because me and my brother were talking about it the other day. Season 2 was a very character-heavy driven show. There was a lot of dialogue going back and forth. Between characters.
The original series? Yes.
Yeah, development and stuff like that. And
the
really,
whole Rick and Shane thing came up in Season 2.
Yeah, viewing the ideals of what's right, what's wrong in the society nowadays. And fear, it's not there yet. I wouldn't say there's a lot of super big character development in every episode. We get it.
We get it, and we get it in much smaller, more subtle doses, very similar to the way The Walking Dead has done in later seasons, where you don't get this massive character just boom. You haven't really seen anything like that since Beth's story arc in 4.
Yeah.
But you're getting little tiny doses, Nick going for the pharmaceuticals, and not just the ones that could get him high. He was actually really honestly looking for something to help Ophelia out, which I thought was amazing. He was a dipstick and fell into the pit with the walker who was being chowed on by the crabs.
Yeah, okay, first off, that was really cool, and that's what I was, again, talking about, the fun. Seeing the crabs eating that guy and stuff like that, that was such a cool visual. And it's like, there we go. I like that, but, what was up? That family needs to watch more horror movie stuff, because clearly... You don't jump into old late. You don't jump into,
Don't jump into the ocean when the dead have come to rise and nothing really stops them, because they're going to be down there.
Yeah, clogging up to the drain, and then you don't stand at the edge of a pit, because it's like as soon as he was standing there, it's like, oh, he's going to fall in.
Yeah,
he's going to fall in. Could he die? Maybe. And if he died, I'd be a little bit bummed. But like I said, he still needs a little. They need a little bit more character development to really make me care.
Yeah.
But I'm slowly getting there.
And the thing that brought about, and I love the way that some things they are getting like right off the bat, and some things that our original team figured out in Season 1, they're in Season 2, and Nick just accidentally figures it out because he has to kill 2 walkers basically on top of him.
Yeah.
And I loved the scene when they're all running for the beach to get to the boat, to get back out to the boat, to the yacht, and Nick just comes walking up and he's like whack, and the other zombies are just kind of passing him by and going after the other people, and he looks down and he's like, and he walks and he stands face to face with the one, and it just kind of goes and then walks around him.
Yeah.
And at that point, you could see the gear click in Nick's head. And he's like, if I smell like I'm dead, they're going to think I'm dead.
Yeah.
Oh, now, big point to note. I don't think he shared that with anybody.
I don't think he shared that with anybody yet.
Was it Ophelia on the yacht that said, wow, you smell like death?
Daniel's daughter?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that even hints that someone else is noticing, or he's letting someone else in on the whole, hey, you cover yourself in guts, you're going to smell, you're probably going to want to puke, but you'll get by them because they'll think you're one of them. And that's something that it's like,
Well, and I think especially because if you've seen the... little clip. I don't think you have. I don't think because you haven't watched The Talking Dead yet.
No, I didn't get to see the Talking Dead clip.
Yeah, there was a clip of pretty much it looked like Nick, butt naked, washing up on shore. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to deal with the Walker blood and everything like that coming soon. And the only thing that worries me about that, and I hope they don't go down this route, is, or this route, I apologize. I hope they don't go down this route, is I hope Nick doesn't start sympathizing with the walkers and trying to see if he smells like one of them, if maybe he could try to bring one around, because they still think of it like a sickness. So he could very well treat it like Herschel did at the farm.
Okay, not having seen the scene that you're talking about, wow, that's really confusing. I'm going to go out on a limb, and if they really did, Strand threw Nick overboard, and Nick ends up washing up on shore, I'm going to bet that is how Alex comes back into the fold.
That's what I was saying.
Seeing Nick and picking Nick up, and either Nick will kill the little boy because he turns, or Nick helps her get the little boy around.
Yeah. Well, he's not like a little boy. He's like...
Well, he's like a young teenager.
Yeah, 14, 15 maybe, something like that, yeah.
But, still, he's younger than most of the others on there.
Yeah, he looks older than Carl.
Yeah, he's definitely older than Carl in season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But, so if that's the case, I'm going to guess that's how Alex is going to come back into it. It's going to be like, look, we got your son, and he may not have been thrown over. He may have jumped. He may have decided, you know what, I don't need this. I'm out of here. And I'm almost wondering if there's not more people, because there's a couple of times that I was like, okay, they're going to mutiny against Strand.
Yeah, that's clear. That's going to happen within this episode, if not next episode. It's going to happen soon. Yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to throw Strand overboard, if they're going to tie him up and leave him on the yacht and take it to Baja. I mean, he's got this supposedly impenetrable fortress in Baja, but then again, his house on the coast was supposed to be immune.
Well, because he always had the idea of leaving.
I've got a generator. Everything's electronically locked, so nobody will be able to get in unless I let them in. And then at the end, we see the house is overrun. So, what is it? Did you just flip the switch? We're out of here.
Well, see, it could be one of two things. One, you probably might have to been inside, so if it wasn't overrun before, that could have been set. Or because Strand is Strand, he's manipulative. He likes to play on people. He could very well say, hey, I have a safe spot, and I know where it is, so that these people can bring him to his house. Oh, man, it got overrun. Darn. You know what? I got a boat. Let's go to this boat. Where should we go next? Jeez, I don't know. Well, let's just go down this coast a little bit. Hey, I know there's a shelter. I actually have been talking to people. It has walls. It's safe.
Well, there's another thing. Did you notice that he got no response this time?
Yeah.
His sat phone went pretty much just dead.
Yeah. So
it's like, oh,
that's going to be interesting.
I don't know. I have a little bit of a prediction that they're going to keep making these little coast hops. And they're not going to find anywhere that isn't already overrun.
Yeah.
The only place that has a chance would be, and they mentioned it, I think, in the first episode, was Hawaii.
Yeah.
We should head to Hawaii, because that's far enough removed from any mainland that maybe it hasn't spread there yet.
Yeah.
And they haven't mentioned anything about Hawaii.
Not yet, no. But, I mean, we don't know. And we still have possibly the people trailing them.
Yeah, that's still a possibility.
Yeah, so I don't know where it's going to go. And that's kind of, exciting because I love The Walking Dead, but because of the comics and everything, you kind of know where it's going a little bit. Or you can kind of predict.
To a point.
Yeah, to a point. With this, it's... I don't know where they're going to go. For all we know, they could be like, okay, let's go to Hawaii. And then next season or mid-season finale or whatever, they go to Hawaii and then they get to deal with what's going on in Hawaii. Walkers falling into volcanoes that,
Or Hawaii could be completely uninfected. And have a very, very strong military presence around the island. Hey, we want to come in. Don't move or we'll level your boat. We'll sink you right here. We don't care.
Yeah.
We'll shoot every one of you in the head execution style, and bang, we'll sink your boat as a warning to other people not to mess with us.
Yeah, and so that's where I don't know where the series is going, and it's fun, but we got a lot to talk about, but we need to take a quick break.
Okay.
We'll be back to more Fear the Dead Air.
Fear the Dead Air is taking a little break. Don't worry, we'll be back. Like the dead rising, we are back. You are listening to Fear the Dead Air, only on 89.5 The Wave.
That is right. We are back here on 89.5 The Wave. I'm your host, your friendly neighborhood DJ, JazzHandss, and I am joined with the one, the only, Paul.
Hey, still haven't got enough coffee yet.
Yeah. And we are talking about last Sunday's epic Fear the Walking Dead episode, which, like we said, it's getting there.
It's definitely getting there. The show's improving.
It still needs a little bit more time, and you haven't won me over yet, but I'm coming around. I'm coming around. You're getting to me.
I think that's going to be the overall, and I have not watched monitored the ratings for this show. I'm sure it's not the blockbuster hit that The Walking Dead was.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be more of a slow building juggernaut. I think it's going to just keep gaining people, and especially those of us who are already addicted, much like Nick, and we need to get some sort of fix.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the drug we choose, it's the drug that's available.
Yeah.
And I predicted this last year when they did the whole first season, and then, okay, well, we're going to, put it in between. I was like, please do that for Fear the Walking Dead between the end of one season and the beginning of the other. The winter hiatus I can take.
Yeah, I can take the winter hiatus. And sometimes unfortunately, you do sort of need a little bit of a break, because I know for a fact, after watching such an intense season of, season 6 and stuff like that.
When is Lucille going to show up?
Well, not when's Lucille. You kind of get into this weird sort of mindset of like, we gotta do this, and it's like, you're not a part of the show. Calm down. You're watching. It's like, no, but we gotta survive, and it's like, no, calm down.
You're only a viewer, dude. It's a TV show.
You're
Turn
fine.
it off.
You're fine. Okay. I know you don't know who died, but you will. Wait, it's a TV show. It's like, oh, no, and but sometimes you definitely do need a little bit of those breaks in between. But I want to talk about Daniel.
Okay.
Because Daniel was very interesting this episode, and his character, he sometimes he does worry me. I think some of his intentions are in the right place, but I also feel that he's so untrustworthy that it makes him kind of a loose cannon.
I don't know if I'd say untrustworthy, but he definitely has a very, very different outlook on things based on his past.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me reiterate. He's untrusting of other people.
Oh, okay.
Even his own group that he does trust, like Madison, he still questions her.
Yeah,
he still thinks.
I think he trusts Madison. I think he trusts Travis a lot more because, they got out of the city together. He did do the best he could for his wife.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to admit, Travis tried everything he could to try and save his wife.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
And so I think he's got a closer connection to Travis than he does to Madison, but I still think he's trusting Madison. I don't think he completely trusts Nick or Strand. I'm not sure if he trusts Chris or not, and nobody really quite trusts Alicia right now.
No, Alicia's kind of
a dipstick.
And she's like, I think she's the weak link in the group, honestly. I hate to say that, but she's the one that I think is going to get them into trouble.
At this point, yeah, I'm going to agree with you. And, big mention, he does not trust Strand one bit.
No.
Especially the way he had, and I noticed this, he had Maddie, if I'm not mistaken, and I've only watched it once, he had Maddie spring the whole Mexico thing on Strand, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. He talked to her. He
so
suggested.
how are things going to go in Mexico, huh? You know, so I mean, he's still almost as manipulative as Strand.
Almost, yeah, and that's where I was kind of questioning, because I know he wanted to go get pills for his daughter so that, you know, her infection can heal and everything, because it was healing wrong.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to find that, but he didn't trust Maddie, which I'm wondering if, because we were talking about it, I'm wondering if he might see a lot of himself in Maddie, to where she's a nice person deep down at heart, but she'll do whatever it takes to protect her family, and she hasn't done it yet, but because he's dealt with people like her before, because he's seen people like her before, because maybe he was people like her before, he's very wary that if she turns, then Maddie will not hesitate to kill his daughter. And then if that happens, I think in his mind, no matter what, if his daughter turns and stuff, right now at least, I think he thinks if his daughter turns and either he doesn't get to kill her or Madison kills, I think then he, in his mind, had said that he's going to have to kill the person that kills his daughter. Because that should have been his job, and he should have done it, and I don't know what's going to happen, but...
At this point, I don't think they're going to turn Ophelia. I think she's going to get, thanks to Nick, I think she's going to get the pills she needs. I think that's going to fight the infection. I think she is starting to trust Nick a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, when she's sitting out there talking to him on the deck of the boat, she seems a lot more trusting. And it's something that I'm really happy to see, because I think Nick is a good character for now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's going to stay that way, and I'm not sure if I would really classify Strand as a good character, because I'm not sure of his motives. And this brings us to something that we were talking about off air while you guys were listening to music.
Yeah.
Is, you know, one of the things that they mentioned on the Walking Dead season finale of Talking Dead was, you know, if you guys had started this whole story from the point of view of Negan, you would be seeing Negan's group as being in the right. You know, I mean, these people came in and slaughtered a bunch of their people. I mean, seriously, come on. I'm wondering if this show, this offshoot, is going to kind of take that direction.
Yeah, and that's what I would like, because essentially if it doesn't kind of go that route, it's going to kind of be almost the kind of same template as The Walking Dead, where it's good people trying to survive, doing what's right, trying to, you know, what's right, what's wrong in this world, how much can they take, blah, 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 blah. But if they go to the route of these are good people that are going to go bad, we're going to get to see the saviors built essentially like that.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. Is it's like, okay, so we're going to get the construction basically of the saviors based on Strand, which he's already shown he has fairly questionable morals.
Yeah.
You know, that's, to me, that's just going to be interesting. And, you know, I noticed the fact that Strand keeps saying, you know, nobody else gets on my boat. Nobody else gets on my boat. And I think it's because nobody has worked to get on his boat.
Well, it's either...
And I'm seeing that whole Negan thing of, what have you done for me? Are you out gathering stuff for me? Are you finding stuff for me? Are you taking stuff for me? Because if not, I got no use for you.
Yeah, and see, but the whole difference with Negan is very much, hey, are you going to work for me? No? Well, then you're going to die. But if you work for me, your chances are going to be a lot better of survival. We'll promise that. And so I'm wondering, because I don't want it to be essentially Strand is Negan and we're getting like...
Negan on a boat.
Yeah, Negan on a boat, and we're getting like the saviors of a pirate ship or like a pirate crew or whatever. But I want something similar to where he might not trust people, but if he thinks that he can get something from somebody, especially if he can manipulate them, then, I mean, who knows? That, like, the one place that we were talking about could have, like, 50 different guys in there.
Yeah.
That could be a part of his group.
Paramilitary organization, something like that, because Strand moves like a panther.
Mm-hmm.
Very deliberate, very graceful, very refined, but very deadly.
Yeah.
And he almost screams like paramilitary, and with it being Baja California, you have to wonder, is he a drug runner?
Yeah.
Is that how he's got this nice yacht and the nice house and all that stuff? And, you know, he's so sophisticated. He's become good at manipulating people.
Well, I mean, and it would make sense that...
It would totally make sense.
I mean, essentially a seller knows his clients.
Yep.
And so...
But on top of that, now they're headed out to Baja California. He says there's a fortified stronghold. Well, I mean, to coin a phrase from one of the presidential candidates, no disrespect, Mexico, but, you know, how many fortified compounds are in Mexico? And if they are, heck, how many are in the United States? They're generally owned by either wackadoodles or drug organizations.
Yeah. Well, and that's where I'm wondering, could it possibly be a manipulation tactic, again, for Madison and the group, saying, "Oh yeah, I got this base. It's fortified. It's certified. We're good. And then they get there, and his motives are completely different.
Yeah. Okay, now you're going to take this cocaine, and you're going to stuff it up. No.
I mean, pretty much.
There's got to be people out there, man, and they're going to want to be high because they're dealing with killing zombies.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was really, really bad, but...
Oh, no.
you know, I mean, what... For that matter, what would happen to a drug organization, you know, that specializes in the distribution of illegal drugs, illicit narcotics, whatever, however you want to play it? You know they're going to be armed to the teeth.
Yeah.
Because they are now.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen to their purpose?
And I mean, that entailed could be very interesting, to where you could get, like I said, something with the Saviors, where they go around, hey, we need this or we need that, or, you know, they might have a Eugene in the group start dismantling cars and planes and making bullets and being like, hey, we go to a town, we say, hey, give us half your stuff, we might be able to open up a trade.
We'll protect you.
Not even protect, just like, we'll be back for the stuff, you know. And that's where it's going to be interesting, and that's where I'm kind of hoping we do see this, you know, evolution of bad guys. And honestly, it could very well be the one, if Travis doesn't get kaput, because I think if Travis is around, they might question it, but I think if he's gone, they might be more willing to
I agree.
be led astray.
Travis, I think, is the moral compass.
Yeah, and you know how that was
killed on this show.
Yeah, you know how that
sister
fares.
Show.
And honestly, the only probably, as weird as it is, the only genuine one that I think might not be extremely manipulated later on, if they keep him up as Nick.
Yeah.
I think Nick might be the only one. I think maybe at some point, because... And I want to talk about him because we need to get to it. But I think at some point, if Strand sees Chris, how Chris is acting towards the walkers and everything like that, and he could go up and be like, hey, look, nobody else here really thinks you can do it. I mean, you're clearly capable. You're a man of your own. Why don't you
go out and prove it?
Or not even that, like, I could use you more than anybody else because you're more than willing. And so,
that manipulative end on Strand?
Yeah, and I would like to see kind of a rift form between the group, to where, because the one thing about Rick's group is, even if there's a little bit of a rift between it, you know it's not going to affect them severely.
It's not going to hamper the function of the group.
Yeah.
Whereas this, we've already seen that even a small rift can really, really disrupt the functioning of this group.
Yeah.
I mean, when Travis and Maddie were mad at each other in this episode, you know, things just kind of didn't move very much. And then things literally didn't move very much because zombie guts were clogging up the cooling system.
Yeah, which that was fun.
That was funny. Okay, I want to know, was I the only one when he was like, something's clogged the cooling system? Was I the only person on the face of this planet that went, duh, sea zombie?
No, yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. It's like, everybody knew that it was a zombie. You had to have.
Yeah, so go down there, hey, well, I'm just going to bring a flashlight and see. It's like, bring a flashlight and a knife. You could have taken care of that in one dive. Come on, Travis.
Yeah, something.
I mean, I like the fact that he stepped up, but seriously, man, come on. You need to know this stuff.
Yeah.
Even Nick was bright enough that when he spotted the knife in the carry-on, he was like, I may need this. I'm going to put this in a pocket over here. And it ended up saving his behind.
Yeah, exactly. And, well, the one thing that I kind of thought that was a little bit funny was when Travis was working on the boat, Madison came down and said, hey, do you need a hand? And he's like, oh, no, it's fine. And then what did he pull out of the thing? It was a hand.
Yeah, there's a hand. No, got one already, thanks.
Yeah, I thought that was...
That was a nice little in-joke.
Yeah, and that was funny. But, okay, so the kids.
Chris, I really... I'm with you. I think Chris is trying to... I think it's twofold. Mm-hmm. I think Chris is still trying to deal with the anger from Mom.
Uh-huh.
But I also think he's trying to prove to Dad and Madison and everybody else that I can hold my own. In fact, I can be a badass. I can go through and kill these things. I can do that.
Yeah.
And it's like...
That worries me because we've had characters like that before with Beth, Denise... that has not turned out very well. They've all died because they allowed them, they tried to prove themselves in certain ways. Now, I don't think he's trying to prove that he's a badass, but I think he might have this strange vendetta, or he's definitely putting himself more in harm's way to fight.
And that's very, very often something that you find when someone has lost someone close to them. Mm-hmm. They do tend to maybe subconsciously or consciously take riskier behavior, do things that might not be the wisest decision. Mm. And, usually that lasts for a little while until they deal with the loss. Well, I don't think Chris is dealing with the loss of his mother, especially not knowing that Travis fired the shot.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, how bad is this kid going to get before he starts, okay, I've really realized what I'm doing now, and, Dad didn't have any choice. And I'm wondering if him doing the mercy killing on the plane is going to change.
See, I don't know, because, and that's where I wanted to talk about it, because within the mercy killing, which for one was terrifying because we've never really seen that. It's always been a clean kill almost every kill, and this was, I think, one of the first ones that I can remember. I don't know, but that I can remember that he hit him a couple times and the guy was still alive, just laying there. And it's like, oh, he's suffering. Oh, God, you made it worse. You made it worse. And so, but it wasn't that he did the mercy killing. I think that had to have happened, and I think he needed to, and I think that shows... I think that might show in his character that he can do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And so we might see a version of Carol kind of going on. But what worries me is right after when Ophelia?
Yeah.
When Ophelia came up and she was like, oh, are you okay? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. I killed one of them. And I don't know if he's kind of like putting on a front, like, oh, I didn't kill him, but the way he acted was very, very, very calm. Mm-hmm. More so for somebody that just did a mercy killing to somebody else. And you would think that maybe he's hiding it because, like they said on Talking Dead, they might still think that there's a society that could be rebuilt or something, and they could come back from this.
I liked what one of the characters said, which was, this is it. It's gone. It's done.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any society. And especially after last week's episode where they went to the ranger station and found out that pretty much every city up and down the West Coast, all the way to the Continental Divide, has been bombed or napalmed to the ground.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it's like, okay, so where are we going to go? They've already heard that the Mexican government shut the border down.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my thing is, why does Strand think that if the government has shut down the border, they're not going to be watching their sea borders?
See, I don't know.
See, that's the thing. I mean, it's a cool yacht, but I don't see it as being all that stealthy.
No.
So, and the other thing that kind of makes me wonder about Strand's occupation is, if you had a yacht that nice, would you leave it moored 500 yards, 1,000 yards off the coast? Or would you have it, like, right there so that if the fit did hit the Shan, you could run right out your back door, down the hill, jump in the boat, and right out?
Yeah.
Maybe have a dock and have it, a couple 100 feet out so that it's not, beached.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. And it seems like one of those things, though, too, that...
seems like something that a drug runner would do.
Well, a drug runner, or that he just got the boat and was going back to his house when stuff hit the fan. But, I don't know. Strand. we talked about Strand a lot this episode.
Yeah.
But
he was very, very big in this episode.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting, but kind of backtracking a little bit towards Chris. Do you think that there could be a possibility of Chris and Ophelia having more...
Ophelia or Alicia?
Alicia.
I was going to say, I really see Nick and Ophelia. I think that's where Nick's trying to go with this. I think he's trying to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to be a better person, and I think he's kind of seeing her as a reason to be a better person.
I don't know if it's that. I don't think there's a romantic thing between Nick and Ophelia. I think because if you watch Nick, he does that with everybody. He's trying to kind of help out everybody like that, and I think he's helping out everybody. I don't think that he has a love interest with her yet. I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong, but I don't think there's a love interest between the two of them.
So you're wondering about Chris and Alicia?
Yeah. The way that she looked at him after that, when it's like, oh, you killed one and stuff, and like how worried she was and stuff, like, it seemed there could possibly be more there.
Yeah, but in a way, man, that's creepy because that's like her stepbrother.
No, yeah, it's totally creepy. Don't get me wrong.
Granted, your options are limited in the apocalypse, but stepbrother I don't think would be, stepsister, whatever, anywhere in the top, 40 of my choices.
Yeah,
I'd be like, hey, can I find somebody who's not infected, just running around an island somewhere? I'll take that.
No, yeah, trust me, I think it's creepy, but I'm wondering, just because of the way they were looking at each other, made me kind of question, could there be something there that they might play on, they might not. I kind of hope they don't, because I
think it's possible, but I really I'm with you. I hope they don't. By the way, you are listening to 89.5 KCFV Ferguson. Figured I'd go ahead and put that one in there.
Yeah, we do need it. We're going to run just maybe a little bit over, just talking.
I just realized, hey, we've been talking a lot.
Yes, yes. But there was a lot that happened this episode, and honestly, it was one of those things that I'd rather have episodes like this where we do kind of overtalk and really talk about what's going on than...
Yeah, and I really, really wish that I could have been in on last week's.
Last week's was definitely
because I did not see that, but... And that seems to be the thing. They keep punching up the energy a little bit.
Yeah. Season 1, or the opening was pretty good. Last episode was really good, and then this episode was better. And so I'm hoping that with each episode, it gets better upon better, upon better.
Yeah.
But one more thing before we really go. Well, two more things. One,
okay.
Did you notice that, how willing the kids were to go on land more so than the adults? And so do you think that the kids already are living in that mindset, kind of like season 3 or something, where it's like they're survivors now, and so they know they've adapted a lot quicker than Travis and Maddie and them.
Yes. I think the kids have gotten a lot quicker grasp on, hey, when we see stuff, we need to take stuff because we'll need that at some point. We can either trade it, we'll need to use it ourselves. Maddie did, I think it was Maddie, said, hey, see if you can find some warmer clothes because it gets cold out here in the evenings. So Maddie may be coming around a little bit, but the others were like, no, you don't need to go ashore. We don't need to get anything. And it's like, yeah, you do, especially if you're on a boat because it's a lot harder to make supply runs on a boat.
Yeah, and what I don't understand is, like, for and this just could be because I played countless video games, survival video games, The Forest and stuff like that, but I don't know, like, you'd think that, like, when you get up on shore, instead of going through the bags one by one, you would just kind of pick up some of the bags and start loading them up into the boat, because even if there's clothes that don't fit, you can still use it for fabric, you could use it for warmth, you could use it to start a fire, you could use it if somebody gets hurt, wrap their arm up, use it as, like, a sling, like...
It's not a bad idea.
You would think that, at least for me, I would have started loading up everything that I could carry, not just, the essentials, but I'd rather have a lot more extra stuff that you could work with so you're way more prepared than, we got some medicine.
They didn't just get medicine. I mean, each one of them had a bag, and they came back with that bag pretty much filled. Mm-hmm. And it didn't show everybody getting what they were getting. Nick, of course, is going to be like, okay, I'm finding the pharmaceuticals, whether recreational or medicinal, I'm finding them. But he did also, he got his little captain's uniform. And I'm wondering if that's going to be symbolic.
Possibly.
I'm wondering if once they overthrow Strand, Nick's going to take control of the boat.
Possibly. I don't know.
But the other thing that worries me about that is if they throw Strand overboard or, mutiny against and take control of the boat, and they still try going to Strand's little stronghouse, what's going to happen when they find out, you're not him?
Well, even if they do mutiny, Strand could somehow still get there and get another boat, a bigger boat with weapons.
Yeah.
A lot sleeker, and possibly go after him. So, and that's where I hope it doesn't go. I hope it doesn't become Strand's a bad guy and everything like that. I really hope it's that evolution of good people becoming bad guys, more so than the good people kicking out the bad guy and then the bad guy hunting them down, and it's this huge chase going on and stuff. So, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. So, predictions for next episode.
At this point, I am going to predict that they are going to continue this whole trend of we're out on the water, we hit land, we jump out, we get stuff, we get back into the water, and then we go. And I think there's going to be a huge blow-up between some of the groups of characters. I'm not sure if it's going to be everybody versus Strand. I think Strand might be able to get, like, Chris to come to his side. Maybe Travis. Because Strand pissed Travis off pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I still think Travis looks at it as, you know what, it's his boat. He's helping us. He has helped us. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maddie is like, I don't care what Strand says. We're going to do this.
Yeah, and that's where I'm wondering if Strand's going. But, of course, then Maddie... Because if Strand is the guy that likes to manipulate stuff or likes stronger people, if he feels he could possibly manipulate Maddie,
see, I don't think he's going to be able to manipulate Maddie. And she grew up baptized by fire, man. She was working as a high school guidance counselor.
Yeah,
if you want to talk about manipulative people, let's talk high schoolers.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, let's face it. So she's probably got a pretty high BS defense level.
Yeah. And the one thing that worries me about her, and it's like I said with every character, and I'm going to say it again, when Strand said, you're not a killer. You're not a killer. You're not going to kill me. You're not.
They said that about Carol, too.
They said that about Carol, but I'm worried that because of that, she's going to be like, because she's Andrea 2.0, she's going to have to try to prove that, oh, yeah, you should fear me, or you should be afraid of what I can and can't do, but...
I'm still waiting to find out that she's like Andrea's half-sister or cousin or something from the West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, they might have hinted that there could be a connection between...
And can I ask something here?
Yeah.
Do you remember when they were first announcing Fear the Walking Dead, and they had cast Morales from The Walking Dead, Season 1? The guy who left with his family to head out west?
Yeah. Yeah.
We haven't seen him yet.
No, was it
wonder-
actually official that he was supposed to be...
I could have sworn they had him in on the official cast, but we haven't seen him. So I'm wondering if we're going to run into Morales at some point, who's going to say something about, yeah, the group I left in Georgia was in pretty bad shape, too.
I mean, but that's a long way. That's a long way. And
that's
essentially...
going to be like season 2 or... late 2 or 3.
Because I was actually trying to think about this last episode, too. Could Rick be awake by now, or do you think he's still in the coma as of this point in Fear?
I would probably guess Rick had just woken up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they've been out at sea for quite some time.
Yeah, because if you think about it, if episode one was the napalm episode, that could have taken place at the exact same time Lori and Shane saw the napalming.
Yeah.
Because they could have all napalmed the exact same time, exact same place.
Just napalm the entire country at once?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. Either way, that's speculating. We're getting way too off.
Yeah. I really think the tension's going to build between Strand and the other members of the group.
Mm-hmm.
I think there may be one or two that side with him, but I think ultimately Strand's going to
get thrown overboard.
Get either tossed overboard or tossed in, shackled and tossed in one of the rooms and look, we're going to take care of you. We're not that inhumane, but we're also taking on people. I kind of saw that in Maddie's eyes when Strand walked up and hacked the rope that was towing Alex's little boat.
Yeah, for a split second, I really thought it was
Maddie was gonna.
No, I thought that he was going to pull him up and save him. I thought maybe he's like, you're a part of our group now. Come on, like reluctantly. But the fact that he cut it, and the fact that essentially Maddie didn't do anything. I think that means that I think Strand then definitely knows, yeah, I got you.
See, but the thing is, Maddie couldn't do anything. He just walked. Sorry. Again, not enough coffee. He just kind of walked to the back of the boat and just, Maddie kind of looked at him like, what the heck? And he just whipped out the machete and gone. And she looked at him with this look of disbelief, like, what the hell did you just do? And, you don't get a lot of that raw emotion from Maddie.
Yeah.
She's kind of Andrea 2.0. She's dingy. She does stupid things.
Yeah.
And that was a very, very not stupid reaction. That was a very, very shocked, feeling human reaction.
Yeah, and it could have very well be that we're going to be dealing with it next, but it seems definitely that they are afraid because they are under Strand's thumb. It's his boat. He saved him, essentially.
Yeah.
And even when Maddie said, oh yeah, well we bought you here. We did this. We did that. It's like, yeah, but I gave you the purpose to be here.
Right.
So, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here. So, and I think that's where he's manipulated him, and that's where I hope this turns into bad guys. Either way, we talked a lot longer than we should have.
Yeah. Well, we tend to.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind it, but thanks everybody so much for tuning in. You can check this episode later tonight at facebook.com/STLDeadAir. I post all the episodes, so you can go back and listen to last week's episode. You can even listen to season 6 of The Walking Dead. That's all up now. And yeah, definitely check it out. And I would like to hear your opinions on what you think is going to happen next episode and what you thought of the episodes as a whole. But either way, thanks everybody so much for tuning in. I had a blast, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.